So, hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast, the nerdy podcast hosted by two northern nerds. I'm one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul.
And we are back with the top 5. And this week's top 5 is...
Top 5 computer games. So your favourite computer games that you've played or enjoyed throughout your life.
Yes, computer. This one was pretty easy to write down, not gonna lie. Enjoyed, and you're gonna... Everyone, honestly, my list is very the same. In respect to gameplay. I don't really venture out a lot. But I do play games, I do have consoles, I do have a gaming PC. I'm just not as hardcore as my husband is.
I used to be a lot more into games when I was younger. Like, say, I've had every console going from a Sega Master System to a Super Nintendo to a Mega Drive. Then moved on to the PlayStation. I had friends who had Dreamcasts. So yeah, it's been a wide spectrum growing up. Some amazing games I've played. Some probably I have not mentioned because, like I say, I can't really discuss them that much because I probably played them years ago and they don't really mean anything. But the ones I've picked have a bit of feeling towards, and I've always got I've got stories behind as well.
Yeah,
why I like
same
them.
here. This is exactly the reason of why I picked what I picked. Like I've been a gamer since from being a kid. I was probably the first one on my street to have a Sega Mega Drive. I was the coolest kid that Christmas. Playing Mega Drive had some really fun memories because like me and my dad used to play quite a lot together, and I'll always remember the week I had off school with an earache. And my dad took us to the doctors on Monday morning. I was we told I had to stay off for a week. Great stuff. Me and my dad just on Mega Drive every day. It was just so much fun. I think I had a Spectrum before that. I can never remember. I think I had a Spectrum.
My very first one going back was an Amstrad 64, I believe.
Right, which one was the one with the black keyboard but the red and green keys?
I think that was an Amstrad. I
had an Amstrad then. That's what I had.
Because there was 3 around the same time that came out. I think the Amstrad, not turn it down, was the cheaper version. Like I say, I know, my house, when the computers came out, there were extortionate prices.
Oh God, yeah.
They came with a tape deck built in and a
green monitor. That's it. That's the one I had. I always remember that.
But I always wanted a Commodore 64. That was always the one with the floppy drive as well. But never got that one.
Well, then it kind of like my sister. After that, I was not. I was an outdoorsy person, so video games like that. I didn't progress forward with them. My sister had a PlayStation 1. I don't know if she had the PlayStation 2, and then I got into my GameCube. I randomly bought a GameCube and started playing the Resident Evil games. Surprisingly, not on my list today. But I started playing the Resident Evil games. And then 2014 hit, and this is where it started. And I'll go into it. So this week is top 5 video games. Are you ready?
So do you want to start or should I start, young lady?
So am I starting?
I'll let you start. I think I started last week. I'll let you go first.
Okay, so 2014 is when I had a really, really bad time, really bad year, and it was right at the beginning of the year, and I needed a distraction, and I didn't have anything at the time. I wasn't into comic books, so the only thing I had, I think I wrote a whole article about this, and the only thing I had was music, and that's pretty dull when you need to occupy yourself. And I will always remember just one random night putting the Xbox 360 on and started playing. This isn't on my list, but I started playing GTA. And for the first time in forever, my head was just cleared. all I thought about was that game. I didn't think of anything else that was going on in my head, and it is gaming. I'll say it now, gaming is one of the best mental health things that you can do for yourself, because it just takes you out of yourself, just out of your own stuff for a bit, and gets you to concentrate on something else, and it really can give your head a proper clear out. But my first choice is around this time. It was probably the second game I played, after one of the other picks that I picked, and I'm not going to give that one yet. Possibly would get quite emotional over that pick as well. It's from 2013. It is from Crystal Dynamics, and it is a reboot of the original. I put reboot a new image, and it's a third-person player. It is the 2013 Tomb Raider.
Right. Okay.
This franchise means so much to us. Not the earlier Lara Croft, not the typical, green top shorts.
Yeah.
Not that Lara Croft. This Lara Croft from 2013.
Was this the one that was like the reboot? There's been There's been a second one since the Tomb of.
Third one. There's been 3 so far.
Yeah.
The third one not being I don't think it's a full gameplay. I haven't actually played it. But the first 2 are absolutely phenomenal. Graphic wise, it is stunning, absolutely stunning. Even just for when I got it for the 360, even on the Xbox 360, it was still beautiful to look at. And then I've gotten the remastered one for the PlayStation 4. It's not much difference for me, but it's this is the type of game I like. You will see a lot of this flow through my list. I'm a third-person player, cannot do first-person. I have this thing with my eyes. I don't do fast-moving, so I can't take a lot in. I go very dizzy very quickly.
Yeah.
I can't even look at. Ant plays a lot of first-person, and I cannot look at the screen for too long without feeling like I'm going to throw up. I just can't do fast-moving. So this is perfect pace and perfect tempo for us. It's just, I haven't even seen the film.
Which one? The Angelina Jolie or the reboot?
No, I've never seen the Angelina Jolie one, but I've never seen the reboot one either, because I am so worried it's going to take us away from how I felt when I played this.
No, I remember when this came out, because, as you said, Lara Croft, at the time, was revolutionary for a lot of different things when it first came out. And this is basically when Lara Croft entered the next gen, and they did it right. That thing, graphically, as you said, it was beautiful. The gameplay, it flowed. I remember when I played it, like I said, I didn't play the sequels too much, but I'll say when it comes to games, I don't get much time to play in it, so it's hard for me just to invest a bit of time in a game these days. I'm always pick up Fortnite these days and have a bit of blast, then walk away. But with this one, I got engrossed. The story was decent. Like I say, you went all around the world. I like the little details and stuff that they didn't normally do in games. Like if you're holding a candle or a torch and there's water, and you accidentally duck into the water, it goes out and you've got to relight it. That little things kind of
attention to detail. It proper immerses you into where you're at. The look of her, the sound of her. She for all her accent sounds very full on for an English accent. It does not get on your nerves. The story is fantastic. I'm actually playing it right now. This is what I do. There's a few on my list which I can do this with, and this is one of them. I literally will have a moment of, I need to feel how I did back then. This is what I'm going to do that. There's comic books I do it with, there's video games, and there's movies I do it with.
That's a video game with me with movies. Like say, this last year, I've went back to the back catalogue and watched films I've not seen for years, just to feel that old nostalgia and try and get that like feeling back. So I totally get that. I totally understand where you're coming from.
It's the feeling that I had when I played it, and the sense of achievement. Like, because at the time I was, it sounds ridiculous, but
no.
at the time,
When you complete a computer game, there's no better feeling at times. Just
when I finish it, when I finish a book and when I finish a video game, I get this sense of this little thrill that, oh, I can't believe I've just done that, and I'm very notorious for shouting for Anthem. Very, very notorious for shouting for my husband because there's a certain part I can't do. What's one of them? Evil Within. It's not on my list, but Evil Within. I remember Ant's never played it, and I remember losing my mind over one bit, like literally screaming because I couldn't do it, and he had to come in and do it, and I didn't finish that game because he did a section for it, but with Tomb Raider, not one bit of help. I did it all by myself. I'm not the fastest when it comes to shooting either, and like my aim's always off.
Yeah.
I'm not like, honestly, if anyone sat and watched this who was a hardcore gamer, you would be appalled with my gameplay. It was atrocious.
I'm gonna get you on a streaming channel anytime soon.
Not at all. Not at all. I'd be too embarrassed. I would have these people like, because I'm still one of these people who have to look down at the controller to see what the buttons are, and it's so bad because our PlayStation 4 controller, we've got a PS5 and we've got a PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 is in the bedroom with me, and the controller's bust on it. So I don't know if you know this, but controllers right now are very hard to get a hold of because of the components made in them are very hard to get due to COVID. They're not being made fast enough. So controllers are so expensive. And I am not paying for the fact that we've just bought a brand new like PlayStation 5. I'm not paying nearly 60 quid for a PlayStation 4 controller. Yeah. So I bought just a very cheap one, but the buttons on them aren't the buttons on me thingy, but they are the colors. So I still have to look down and remember which ones were which. It's ridiculous, man. See, this is how bad I am. But that's my top pick is Tomb Raider.
Good pick. So I'll go with, I wasn't going to pick this one next, but I think it fits in quite nicely. So this one's it was released in 1996.
Wow.
It was for the PlayStation 1. And again, this blew my mind when I first played on it. Before this, like I say, everything was side-scrolling. I know, like I say, when the 3D games started coming out for the Nintendo 64, when Mario 64, that was the first game that did do the 3D one well. But this one, it immersed you in a world, and it suits quite nicely with the one you've picked. It's the original Lara Croft, the first ever Tomb Raider.
Wow, okay. So, is this the one where you had to do an obstacle course at the beginning?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's all I played. I just did the obstacle course, made her die, and then that was another thing on Tomb Raider, the deaths.
Yes.
When she dies, oh my god, they are gruesome. But I used to make her drown, and then that was it. Like, and I never played the game.
So like as you said, with the starting point to even start playing the game, you had to learn, because no one had played a game like this before. Like, the puzzles in it was unbelievably hard. They weren't just like, say, pull this here, move this. It was like you had to physically work things out. There was things where if you didn't jump exactly at the point where you needed to jump, you would not make the jump and you would die. And you used to get respawned and redoing it over and over again. You used to get attacked by fucking tigers.
Well, the one I'm playing right now, I've just battled a bear.
Right.
A bear with a bow and arrow. That's all you've got.
And I remember this, like, one of the levels, it was the most difficult level that I must have played. And normally, as you said, I'm not the most, with yourself, I'm not the best gamer. And games do take us a little bit of time to complete. I'm not one of these where I can pick it up and complete it all in one weekend. But I must have spent a couple of weeks on this one level. It was the Venice level, where you had to get a boat to do a jump at certain points. You had to work out to go in one building and jump across to the other building, work out how to do it through the window. But again, everything was so intricate and well placed. If you missed it by a point,
like a hair fraction.
then you would have to go back to the start and start it all again. It wasn't bit you died and you started from basic thing. It was like you had to do everything again. It was the most frustrating. And this game as well, like as a teenage boy, had the most hilarious rumor to it as well. That there was meant to be a cheat code that if you entered it in the right way, Laura Croft done a strip. So again, it was all bullshit. It was just a joke. It was a joke just put out there. But I guarantee any lad my age, or even female that my age that was inclined that way, did that cheat about 15 times to try and see if they can get it to work, and it never fucking worked. So.
Oh my god! Because that was the thing, wasn't it? Like you had like a certain like code thing to put. I always remember being given the cheat codes for SmackDown on the PlayStation.
To get your death move, like finishing moves up straight away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I still remember like trying to do it as a kid, going, I want to see this pixelated Laura Croft with the triangle boobs do a striptease.
Yeah, because she had the weirdest body shape. Like, I'm really glad that they've kind of changed how she looks now. She looks very normal. Very pretty, very normal. But, she doesn't have those triangle boobs.
But again, a lot of games back then was like punch, kick, shoot. This was, you had to run, dodge, and roll,
dip, dive,
and like, even dive. Like say, going all dodgeball in it as well. But yeah, there was like it wasn't simple movements. It made it like it was the first time like the PlayStation controller, you pretty much had to use all the buttons, like the 4 on the top, and anything.
Oh God,
but yeah, that like say great memories like with Tomb Raider, the first one, because that was the way. Like I know there's been better games since. But to me, that's changed how I've viewed games and played games for a long time.
It's got to be, though, because you are right. It was like everything was like a platform. Like, just to think about what was out at the time. And I'm like taking my sister's games that she had, Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Spyro the Dragon, very platformy, like collect a ring or something like that. There's no thought in it. It's just mindless point and jump.
Yeah.
But with that, I get it. Like there's thought process in it, and probably the first time in gaming the world. I'm probably wrong. I don't really know the history of gaming. My husband will probably correct me.
I know, but for us, when we're picking up a game, like say there was probably other games out there, but that was me. The first one I picked up and found and went, right, this is so different to what I've experienced before.
Yeah, I totally get that. You ready to move on?
Yeah.
Right. We'll stick with the theme. My number 2 pick. This is very similar, if not the same idea as Tomb Raider. It's from 2009 from Naughty Dog. It has the most fantastic voice actor ever with Nolan North. It is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Love the Uncharted. See, the thing is with my picks, I could, apart from one, I could pick any one from within the franchise and be happy with that pick. But Uncharted 2 always stuck out for us because it had the better story. I love Nolan North. And if anyone wants...
Are you excited for the film?
I don't know because it's Tom Holland, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll watch Tom Holland in anything.
If Nolan North has nothing to do with the film, I don't know if I'm going to be that interested. I'll still watch it, obviously. But if you want to see Nolan North play one of the best characters outside of Nathan Drake, watch Con Men with Alan Tudyk. He is in that, and it is one of the funniest roles he has probably played. It is hilarious. I love him, love the man, and he's one of these people who's very loyal to the franchise as well. Like, it's not just a job for him, it's not just money, it means something to him. And it definitely shows with his voice acting. I love the franchise in a whole. One of my I'm halfway through the first one again. These are games I can just pick up, start, put down, go to another one, and Uncharted is one of them. But I love Uncharted too. I love the Uncharted.
I've never played it. It was. I think it came out the time when the whole PlayStation Xbox wars came out, and with there being a PlayStation Xbox, I know I've got a PlayStation 4 now, but I was always an Xbox person. So I kind of
see. And up until the PlayStation 3, so were we. We had the 360. We had two 360s. I had one. He had one. Because I'm not one of these people who can I want my own space. I want my own storage, which is so I wanted my own Xbox. I just got a little.
Feel sorry for you a little
bit. Sharing. I like having my own things. Apart from the Switch, we share the Switch, but I'm on it more than he is because I have another game I didn't add to the list. I play a lot of Animal Crossing. So, it got us through last year.
My sister-in-law Laura, she loves Animal Crossing. Like I say, she's always on it with her sisters Emily and Charlotte. But it's not
it got us through last year. I literally jumped on the hype. I never heard of it before. It came out, it sold out, and I said to Anthony, that would have been really fun. Like I'm bored at the minute, and it'd be class just to build your own island. And he was like, "Well, just buy it on Nintendo's store." And I was like, "I can do that," and I got it straight away. So, and then I did a whole year of building to then the beginning of the year delete it all and start again. But I've managed to rope friends in. I've got Carolyn's got one. I got Carolyn's got the game, and my friend Amy as well managed to actually get Amy to buy a Switch to play Animal Crossing. But yeah, going back to Uncharted.
Yes.
There's not a lot you can really say. It's another puzzly adventure. Always looking for something very Indiana Jonesy. It's a lot of fun, and it makes you think, and it gives you a decent story at the same time. It's in the cutscenes are not that long.
Yeah,
I think that's what drives me insane about games.
Yeah, when it came out, because I think the Uncharted 1 is quite an old game now. It was.
You couldn't tell though, mate. I've played it recently, and you cannot tell how old it is.
Not this and that way. Just there was a wave of games that came out that were almost like movies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So. Like I say, it makes sense that, as you said, the acting, and when they start taking gaming seriously, back before it was just a joke. No one really, say, you had the Marios and the Sonics, then got a little bit better. But when they start taking gaming as an actual serious brand, and some serious actors got involved, some games really are better than movies at times, or some movies that you see.
I completely agree with that statement. My husband would completely agree with that statement. He absolutely he adored The Witcher 3. Played that last year, and he was he was just shocked. He had no expectation of it whatsoever. But by the end of it, he was devastated. It was finished.
Yeah.
They do have such a movie quality to them now, but what annoys the pants out of me with cutscenes is how long they can be. And in the Uncharted ones, they don't take over the game.
Cool.
So that's my second pick.
So I'm going a little bit more old school with this one. It was on the Sega Mega Drive, and I've played it. It's been on other consoles since then, and there's been numerous sequels, and it's still getting made today. Was the original fighting game that I loved was Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
From 1992, which I always thought was a bit older, but because I always thought it was an 80s game, but when you realise when it came out, now this was I know there've been other fighting games come out before, like Street Fighter was around the same time, but Mortal Kombat blew because I never played on it at my house. My mum and dad wouldn't buy it because it was the first game that was given an 18 rating.
Oh wow!
That I can remember. I played it around my cousins, and
as we do.
And when you're playing it originally, When I think a week or so after the original game came out, the Games Master magazine came out with the cheat codes that turned Mortal Kombat into the best thing you ever see. Because when you originally play it, it's got no blood. That's how they got past the censors. But if you put the cheat in, it turned the blood on, and oh my god, does that game change? Now, there's only a few characters on there. There was only a few characters in it originally, but as a fighting game, it is the most basic punch, kick, jump. I think it coined the phrase for one move wonder, because all you used to do was trip the opponent over so many times, and if you got in the right place, they couldn't even hit you back. So it drove me nuts. But the reason I love this game so much, one simple word: fatality.
What's finish him? That's not
finish him was when it thing, but the fatality came afterwards.
Fatality.
Now you had to learn these moves because it was like number pushing competitions, and you had to be in the exact place, and you had to do it like in the super quick time. So you're talking like you've got about a 5-second window to do this finishing move, and each character had their own finishing move. So I wasn't even bothered about completing the game or going through the fights. I just wanted to play as each character and work out and complete the finishing move. And again, you said it in the first game, there was something of an accomplishment and a feeling when you completed a game. When you performed a fatality, you felt like you actually did something. And I think, like say, because my brother-in-law Liam, he got like an arcade machine in his little bar in his shed, and it's got like one of them Raspberry Pis built in with all the old games on. So we've got Mortal Kombat up, and it hasn't aged well, I want to be honest with you. But there's still one finishing move I remembered to do. It was Liu Kang's, where you held block and then you spiral round the joystick. And he kind of does a cartwheel and punches you up in the air. And depending on what level you're on, you felt your death in spikes, or you just felt your death and there was blood spurting out. It goes fatality. But when you saw that word fatality on the screen, honestly, there's no better feeling that you actually performed.
You've done it. We're not Mortal Kombat people in this house. Not a few years ago, Ant went through a massive craze of Street Fighter V.
Right. So it was you're on the opposite side.
Yeah, to the point where it was almost obsession. We've got a game stick. It was constant. Like, you would watch people on Twitch who played it, so it was constantly on the telly. He's got a book, massive, this huge file book of all the characters, all the moves, all the oh my god, it was borderline obsession. But Mortal Kombat, I always thought was the more interesting one because of the death scenes. Like, they were gruesome, and that was like something.
And as you went on, got like the Mortal Kombat 2, 3, then I think up to Mortal Kombat 11 now, still coming out. They got like more brutal, and like say as it changed, I think they got like friendships instead of, so you made friendship fatalities and stuff like that. Bestialities came out, which sounds a bit wrong, but yeah, you turned into an animal and killed them. But
wowza.
Yeah, there was a lot of changes. But funny enough, talking about Street Fighter, one of the lads that's in the Facebook group, Leighton, he used to work in the borough, and on a certain nights we used to have like gaming competitions, like FIFA night or a Street Fighter night. And to be honest, I've never seen anyone as good at Street Fighter as Leighton. I could not touch him. Like say, he was unbeatable. Shame he couldn't beat us at FIFA though, so we'll leave it there though.
Oh, well, that's another one that's that has been almost grounds for divorce for me and FIFA. I can hate when he plays that. I've never seen the amount of controllers he has broke due to that game. The one time this was the last time he ever did it, is when he threw the controller off the floor and it bounced and hit me off the chest. And he's never done it since. Speaking of Leighton, wanting to get him on here, he needs to come on as a guest at some point. I'm saying it now so he can, if he does listen, I'm going to pressure him into getting on.
He's a shy lad.
I wouldn't really. I just think it'd be a right laugh. But that's a good choice. Very good choice. I do like that one. Right. Where am I at? Where am I at? There is one I want to keep to last because I think it's a really good talking point, and I think there'll be a lot said about it. So I'm gonna go with the one that this is the one I was telling you about, where I don't think anyone would think I would pick this because I am a very third person platform game person. Um, this is a third person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
It's from 2008 from Epic Games.
Mm-hmm.
It has one of the best assault rifles going.
Right.
Gears of War 2.
Ah.
I am a massive fan of the Gears of War franchise.
Mm-hmm.
This was the game that really started my 2014 year. After I played GTA 5, I needed something else, and give us Gears of War 1, and it was so hard, like ridiculously hard. Like, and even had to come in and finish the end for us because it was that hard.
Mm-hmm.
But he says Gears of War 2 isn't as brutal, and you might enjoy it. And I remember going to Dalton Park, finding it for a £5. They used to have a CD shop. I
Yeah.
found it for a £5 in a pre-owned box. Bought it, and I've just lost myself in that world. I haven't played because we don't have an Xbox in the house anymore, and I'm not really wanting for playing that type of game on my PC. I haven't played Gears of War 5.
Mm-hmm.
But I have played the rest of them. Bawled my eyes out of Gears of War 3 when we lost Dominic. Cried my eyes out. But Marcus is like just the most badass person I've ever played in a video game. Like, I love that man.
Yeah.
The chain gun is one of my favorite guns, apart from like the Lancer.
Yeah.
The Lancer assault rifle, but the chain gun, when I got that, there was just no stopping us. I was just honest. I even used to play this live with other people.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go on Xbox Live and play with other people in like little groups. I just used to annihilate anything. I have no tactics. I'm no good at stealth, so I just go for it. I really do Leroy Jenkins it right through the middle.
I think that works well with this game, though. So
yeah, you don't need any tactics. Just go and kill.
Like say, it was quite linear in the way you had to go through it. But funny enough, again, I know this is your third pick. My pick, what I was going to mention next, isn't Gears of War 2. It's the first Gears of War for the Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So again,
wow, then we'll just have a joint one.
Talk about both together. With this, I remember it because it was the launch title for Xbox 360.
It was.
It was.
You even got like a specialized Xbox 360 casing for it.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted it so badly is my old job when I worked as a graphic designer. The bloke who run it, he bought himself an Xbox, and while we were working, doing the design work, he would sit and play on Gears of War, and we would watch him play it. This was like on actual release day, so this is when Xbox 360 came out, and the prices were like stupidly high. So I had to wait a good time before I actually got my own copy. But as you said, the story-wise, really interesting characters. Marcus Phoenix, as you said, go through the sequels, gets more into his backstory.
Isn't it Gears of War 4 where Marcus isn't even in it?
I didn't go past 3, to be honest, because I did one where there was like it was like Gears of War renovation or relevations or something.
I'm sure there's one where Marcus isn't even in it, and I was like, well, I'm not interested. If Marcus isn't in it, I'm not interested, because he is the absolute heart of that whole game franchise.
And I don't know why they haven't made a film of this yet, because the characters are perfect.
I'm kind of glad they haven't, because I don't know if I'd be ready for that. Like I don't know. And Anth always says like I should, if I want to play Gears of War 5, just go on the computer and do it. But I don't. I'm not I like a console.
Yeah.
I like the.
You can get controllers now that like.
Ant's got a 361 in there, in his computer room. Anybody I don't know. There's something about this.
This doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel the same.
I don't want to play a video game sitting in my computer chair because I'm sitting it enough at work.
Yeah.
I like the idea of either being on the couch or being in my bedroom's probably the main place because I spend majority of my time in there. But yeah, I like sitting in bed or sitting on the couch and playing. There's something about me. I'm totally gonna contradict myself here because I do like playing League of Legends on my computer. And I can lose hours on League of Legends on my computer. But something about it, but that is just, it's not a, for me, that's not a, that's not a strat, that's not a, like a, it's just a, not like not a game that I need to like sit and
You don't
chill
want to be
and
sit up. You
watch it.
want to be sitting chilled back. No, 100%.
Yeah.
And like I said, that as you said with the weapons and that, it was like revolution. Like say with the lancer, and then like say the chain, like the chainsaw element when you got up close and done a bit of action with that, and then you can stomp on people's heads, and like everything kind of like integrated.
Just making us want to play it.
You could attach like grenades on people and run away and watch them trying to like run away from the grenade that's on the back.
When you get that chainsaw gun or that chain gun, it's game over. Like
I know
no one stands a chance.
Certainly, I'm trying to remember the name of this baddie. You'll probably know it because there's games that scare you. Like, well, not on my list. Like Silent Hill, there's Resident Evil that have truly terrifying elements to it. But the level on Gears of War where that Shrieker thing, is it a Reaper? It's called.
Oh,
where you can't physically shoot it, you've got to hide. It can't see you, but it can hear you. So you're in, like, say, a church, and you're trying to get it to run at you, and you've got to dodge it and hit things. And the whole point of the level is to get it outside before you can get the Hammer of God on it. It was called Hammer of Dawn or Hammer of God, where it was like you set the satellite on it, and that was the only way to kill this beast.
I know exactly what you're on about. I was trying to look for it there, but I can't think of the name of it. See, this is when I am totally pants because I'm no good at stealthy things at all. Like, for some reason, my thumbs like to move a lot, even if I don't need them to. So my thumbs would be doing this all the time. So my character, like, I need to learn to stay still.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm the worst. I really am. I'm not trying to pretend to be anything that I'm not, because I really know what I am as a gamer. I'm really pathetic.
I'm like on the later ones when they brought out the horde mode as well, where you just basically camped in a zone and you got like the rounds and rounds of the different baddies or the different like say amount of baddies that come out just to see how many rounds you could survive. That was always entertaining with Gears of War as well. But again, like I say, I'm not the greatest first-person shooter just because I like to see where it's going and stuff. But the elements of this, again, going back to what you said with the Uncharted games, it felt like a movie. It felt like you were going through the motions. You felt like and the characters were that well crafted and that done. You give a shit about Marcus Phoenix. You give a shit about Dom. So I totally get that.
I remember when it happened and I was going, no. And I said, oh my God, no. And it's like running and it was like, what's the matter? I was going to jump and it died.
But the only thing negative I'll probably say about Gears of War is it's probably the same with any computer game. It gets quite repetitive as you're going on. The baddies, like the bosses, it's hard to change it up too much, but it's still entertaining. Like I say, there's not many games I would go back to, but I've still got all them saved on my Xbox One now.
See, this is that would be the one and only reason I would buy an Xbox One, and I cannot justify the money for it for the fact I want to play Gears of War, because me and Anne very much are PlayStation people. We love the PlayStation exclusive, so
I can't argue. I bought a PlayStation 4 just to play Spider-Man, so I've not played it. I haven't been switched on since I completed Spider-Man. So
I cannot get. Do you know what? It's one of those that I just can't. I just can't get to finish it. I really can't. I'm halfway through it. It's another one that I'm halfway through and I just put it down. I'm really bad at this. Like, I'm really bad and can't understand how I literally will play a game for a bit, put it down and not go back to it for months at a time. Like, I'm pathetic. I really am.
Cool.
Actually, do you know what? I'm gonna make a change to my next one.
Right.
Because I've just remembered it, and it's very different. It's not very different, but it's different. I feel that the one that I chose next is very similar to where I've already been, and I
Mhm.
want to do something a bit different. So I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. So do you want to do your next one?
Yeah, certainly. If you, like I say, if you listened to the podcast previously when we talked about cartoons, the game
Mhm.
I'm going to talk about next, you'll know how much this character means to me. Like I say, I am quite emotionally invested in this game, and like I say, in the franchise. And
Which one have you picked?
well, I know there's been a few, but to me, the best one is always the original. So the Arkham Asylum, Batman.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll have a joint conversation because I picked Arkham Knight.
Right, okay. So you went for the larger,
I went for the
and
last
I
one
went for the
because,
more
yeah, I
internal
think
and
I went for Arkham Knight because it's the most recent one I've played and the one I can actually hold a conversation with. Um, yeah, I could have picked any one out of them. This series means the world to us, like the world. It is again. This is God, which one was it? Which one was it? Name some of them. What was the like?
It was Arkham Knight.
Mm-hmm,
There was Arkham City.
uh,
Uh, then there was this Arkham Origins.
might have been Arkham Origins.
That was the one that wasn't made by Rocksteady. That was the one that was
Then
Warner
no,
Brothers Studios, and that one, although I do love it because it's Batman, that one is
mhm.
the weaker one out of the three.
It's not that one.
The four, sorry.
It's the one with Bane,
So
where
Bane,
you have to pull Bane's things out of his back and pull it out and
that was Arkham.
that.
That was Asylum, wasn't it? No. Sorry, that was a City, because that was the one where Joker took the venom.
Yes, that one. That one. I played that
Mm-hmm.
um literally after G before Gears of War
Mm-hmm.
and just after because GTA crashed on us and I
Right.
needed something else. I picked a Batman game up and I just fell in love with the franchise. And did you know I am pulling this up now? This actually is this game that I don't know if you knew this, but I didn't until the other day because we picked this video game list last week to do,
Mm-hmm.
and we're doing it on the back of E3.
Yeah.
I wasn't until the other day, and I was like, oh, that totally like falls in line with what we're doing. We're kind of on the ball here.
Certainly.
But yeah, they've just announced a new game, that is not going to be with Batman, but it's within the Rocksteady
It's,
studios.
isn't it Gotham Knights that they're doing with
Yes,
that
yes.
was announced last year, was because there's two new Batman, well, not Batman games. There's going to be Gotham Knights, where it's Batgirl, Red Hood, and Nightwing, and the
Yeah.
other one they're doing is Justice League versus Suicide Squad. So you're the Suicide Squad
Gotta
fighting.
tell you, it's Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks fun. Oh, I saw a trailer for that ages ago. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know which one you mean on that one. Um, but yes, it comes out in 2022 on that one, Warner Brothers.
Because I know that
Though
Gotham Knights was meant to come out this year, but that got put back.
yes, I absolutely loved Arkham Knight. I remember when it came. I remember when it came out. It wasn't that long ago, actually. Was it 2015?
Um,
And oh,
hmm.
I
we're talking
forget
about
it's
that one. I know the original uh, Arkham Asylum came out in 2009, so it was a little bit older. It was
wow,
the
that's old.
360. But going back to the talking about the one of the lads on the Facebook group's doing an amazing commentary about everything that's happened. Matt,
All
you
right.
do check out his post. He's literally posting about everything that gets announced, and he's putting all the trailers in the one things in each day.
Oh, that's really helpful because
So,
I am terrible for when it like we. Oh my god, I remember a couple of years ago. Ant was working in a factory, and he was on nights,
mm,
and I literally went to pick him up from work, and we sat watching E3
mm-hmm.
till it was literally about 5 o'clock in the morning till gone 1 o'clock in the afternoon when Ant had to really get some sleep because he was at work on the night time again. but it was the what do you call it, man? It's the one I'm not picking. It's Last of Us 2. And they did the whole thing for that. I do love E3, but I know Sony's not been there for a couple of years, so my interest is out the window on that one. Going back to Batman, because I honestly I was going to do this as my last pick because I thought it would be a conversationer.
Yeah.
Arkham Knight has, I'm not trying to pit any against the rest of them, but has the strongest voice cast going. I have a list of people who are in this. We'll start with Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Yeah.
Tara Strong as Harley Quinn.
Just go back a bit. Not as Batman, as the Batman.
The Batman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tara Strong as Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Get this one. John Noble as Scarecrow.
Yeah.
We've just been talking about him in the Conjuring movie review. Corey Payton is Azrael. You will know him as King Ezekiel from Walking Dead. Nolan North is the Penguin. Mark Hamill is the Joker. And the amazing Roy Baker, who is Joel in The Last of Us, playing Arkham Knight / spoilers, Jason Todd. I loved that twist and aspect that it was Jason Todd.
You didn't work. You didn't.
Loved it.
You didn't see it coming. That was the most predictable thing that I thought was going to come.
Ant did. But this is how like unclued up I am. Like I
just thought it was hilarious how they came out and said we've created this new Batman villain that comics have never seen, and when within the first 5 minutes of playing the game, I went, "Fuck! It's the Red Hood. It has to be. There's no other person it could have been. It's Jason Todd."
And said the same thing. I was proper dumbfounded. Proper dumbfounded. The only one thing that would have made that better is having Jensen Ackles recast as Jason Todd, because I absolutely love his voice working under the Red Hood. Every time I look at Jason Todd, I think of him.
But he's going to be Batman in the long run.
Yes, he is. He is. Fine. Okay. I just preferred him as Jason Todd. Like, it honestly, that end scene in Under the Red Hood breaks us because Jensen is so convincingly angry. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But Arkham Knight has a stellar voice cast and an excellent story. I fucking love this game. I can go back to this anytime.
See, that's why I'll always argue. I think Asylum is the better game out of any of them, just because it's more.
You're going to have to reach out my memory. Which one's Asylum?
It's when you're basically, you're stuck in the, because it starts off, like I say, you're driving the Joker.
You're walking through with the Joker.
You're getting him in.
I know where you are. I know.
You get Killer Croc.
Yeah.
As soon as Joker takes over, and it's not like you're not in control of the asylum anymore. It's Batman trying to get out, and I love that storyline in the comics, like Arkham Asylum, but this was the first game you played when I'm fucking Batman here. It's the gameplay, the fighting, like the combat system was so intuitive. And I know you said the storyline for Arkham Knight, but in my eyes, the storyline in Arkham Asylum was so superior.
Yeah. Just
because the elements that when they brought the Scarecrow in, then he brought the toxins. Like I said, it even had like Bruce's parents talking to you, and it's the first time you used detective mode as well. So you had to find the clues and unlock little Easter eggs for like Batman villains that they hadn't used as well, and the things. So you not only do you completing the game, you'll find out more about Batman, and there was all these little Easter eggs. I know they've done it later with like the Riddler's clues and stuff, but like killing like the Joker's wind up teeth every so often. It was just like
with the Batarang. You've got to get them with the Batarang.
Yep, and like how Batman didn't come with these tools, but he kind of got them through the game just by different elements and how they were getting sent to him.
Like I say, I could have picked any one of them. I really could have, but I picked Arkham Knight because even Ant said, "Really, Arkham Knight?" And I'd say, that's the one I could possibly hold a conversation with, because I
The one
I
that
get
sticks out the most.
confused. I
Yeah.
get confused with which one's which.
Mm.
Now that you've said which, the beginning of Arkham Asylum, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly which one it is. I literally, I'm sick of doing this, and I won't be doing it again. I sell me Batmans all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. I can't tell you how many copies I've had of them, and it wasn't until last year, end of last year, I saw them on Amazon. All of them, apart from Arkham Knight, which I didn't need because I never got rid of that one. But the rest of them, I always used to get rid of them, get them back, get rid of them, and I've just kept doing it for years. And yeah, Amazon for a
The only
tenner.
thing I would say as well, just not a knock on Arkham Knight, but this is again one of the things that took me out of the game a little bit. There's too many levels in the Batmobile. There's too many Batmobile experts. Like, say, it was fun to use it, but
I get you.
Again, it become a bit of a crutch. So that's why I always liked Arkham Asylum better, because it's quite raw. It's quite, like, say, you get the detective mode, you got the stealth element, or you could go in and just bust heads and kick ass.
Can you hear the noise though? Do 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 do.
It's ice cream fan outside.
No, it's the on Arkham Asylum when he makes an announcement through the tannoy.
Oh yeah.
Joker's I can always hear that.
Kicking off saying, "Can you not stop Batman? He's not doing any of this." But yeah, so to me that one was always, like I say, my favourite. And again, I can go back to, like I say, any of them games. Like probably Origins, your least favourite. That was the one with Hugo Strange, I believe.
I can picture that in the cover, because it's all three of them apart from Arkham Knight on, like, you know, like
the Rock
individual discs, but in like a box set, no, like a box set kind of thing. And it was a tenner, and I was like, right, that's the last time. This is the last time. I'm not buying them anymore. I'm not getting rid of them, because I will. Now that we've talked about Arkham Asylum, I could literally go and turn that on now.
Yeah.
And just start. And then stop again, and then start again. I'm so bad at this.
But the thing is, everything was different on that. Like, fair enough, there wasn't too much repetition. Like a lot of the games, like each bit you got in the Asylum brought a different element and a different person. Like even when you get in the cells and you see like when you get to the max security place and you see all the different villains that's still locked up, and like Clayface changing his face and changing. Things, like say, it was quite a fun part as well. And like I say that like I say that's like one of my top, like say, top games. I would always pick those.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but I'm not downplaying my pick, because it's I love playing Nightwing. If I could have swapped characters for a very long time, I would have, because I loved Nightwing's fighting abilities. He was so lighter than Batman, and it was much more easier to move as him. I did buy the downloadable
content
Batgirl. The Batgirl one. I've never been so fucking disappointed in all my life. I love Batgirl. Barbara Gordon is my girl, and I was so looking forward to this. She looked like Barbara Gordon from the New 52, like the yellow, the black. She looked amazing. I played her for 10 minutes. I paid £20 to play Barbara for 10 minutes. I was raged. I was so outraged. I was so upset, because I really wanted to play Barbara so badly. But yeah, I did it. I'm not scared. So there we go. Mine. Where were we on number 4?
So that was our number 4. Yes, we had 2 joint ones. Gears of War. I picked Gears of War 1. And you went for the second one, and again I went for the original, and you went for. So we've had quite close ones as well, because like I say, we've Tomb Raider, but different versions. And like I say, I went old school Mortal Kombat, but you went with Uncharted, which again, like I say, it's a good game. I just haven't played on it, so I can't really contribute. But all of our choices have been quite close. And
very similar, and it's not what I was expecting. Actually, I thought it was going to be like, I genuinely thought you were going to go like old school. Like we were going to be talking Sonic the Hedgehog and shit.
Potentially, but again, I couldn't talk about it because I haven't played it in 20 years. The only thing I can talk about Sonic is basically, it was good. There was emeralds. You collected rings. And when you went round in a circle, I used to go like this with a joypad watch.
Ooh.
That's pretty much all I can talk about Sonic. But yeah,
Okie dokie. So, do you want to do your last pick?
yeah. So would have probably had a similar pick if you hadn't changed from the way you're talking.
I'm changing it because it was honestly, I picked it 10 minutes before I came and tried to fight with my computer, and I wasn't feeling it when I wrote it down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to change. I'm going to change it. I make the rules. I'm changing it.
Okay. So this game made me emotional, and not many games have made us emotional. Like, there's been 2 games for it. I can't play the second one after the part I get up to. I know I've had discussions with members of the group about it. It's not for me, the second one, because of the way they decided to take it. After what they put me through in this first game and the emotional attachment, and I've never been broken in a game before where, I'll admit, I cried so many times in this game. The Last of Us.
Paul, that was the one I picked.
Yeah, I know you was.
That was the one I picked.
No.
I've already said it though, haven't I? Or I said Last of Us 2, but I haven't played. Ant had a week off work last week. He wanted to finish Ghost of Tsushima, and he bought Last of Us 2. And it's for the PlayStation 4, so he can play it on his 5, then I can play it on my 4, and it's still sitting in the kitchen. It hasn't been touched, but I totally get what you mean. Why wouldn't you play the second one?
Have you heard about the second one?
I don't want to know anything about it because I am going to play it. So don't you dare.
I can't say why then. Like, I'll talk about the first one because the second one, again,
you've not played it. Okay.
It gets us angry. It gets us angry. But the first 15 minutes or the first 10 minutes of this game shocks you to your core. I don't care who you are. If you're a solid gamer, you're not the same after you play the first 10 minutes of this game, because you think it's going to be about something, and it's completely not. And that's just the opening sequence. Because after you finish, like, the whole aspect of, like, say, getting out of your house, there's the zombies are taking over you. You've got your daughter in the car, and you're playing as your daughter. You're not even playing as Joel at this point. And when she gets killed and you don't see it coming, I don't care who you are. I was crying, and then all you see is the credits come up saying, I haven't even fucking started the game. Are you kidding us?
Yeah, I know exactly. This is a game that I started when Ant finished it and I started it, and I found it so hard. I wasn't invested. I felt I wasn't invested. I was like, I'm not in this, and I just stopped playing. Cut to, because this came out in 2013.
Yes.
Cut to, when did we move out? We moved out 2017. I had nothing in the house. The house was getting to the point, because we were on the verge of moving to where we are now. I had the telly, I had the PlayStation. That was about it. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I played it again, and I got so invested. By the time that end scene comes up, I was hysterical.
Yeah.
Absolutely hysterical. And I was so angry that he lied to her.
Yeah.
So angry.
But you can understand why, because that's, like, say,
I totally get it. But I didn't think that's where they were.
I would probably do the same. That's the thing.
I didn't think that's where they were. I thought honesty was what it was, harsh honesty, and that's where I thought they were. And so when he said it, I was like, I can't believe you've just done that.
Yeah, but he loves Ellie more than anything by the end of that game, and you end up doing it as well. Like, that couple, like, Jesus Christ, the journey you go on with them, like, say, from, like, the boss battles to even the simple just sneaking around, trying not to cause too much commotion to yourself, and that, like, what you call, like, the twist end where he kills the doctor, and then the Firefly leader gives him a choice, and I would make the same choice. I don't think I would. I know it's hard.
He definitely chose for his heart. Oh, most definitely. Do you know who voices Ellie?
It was I always thought it was Ellen Page, but it wasn't because she'd done a
It's
different
not.
game.
She looks like Ellen Page.
Yeah.
Elliot
Yeah,
Page.
sorry.
Ashley Johnson. Ashley Johnson is the actress at the end of the Avengers where she's the diner lady, and she
Yes.
says, I just want
Cap
to thank them.
Yeah,
Cap saved my life. Yeah, that's the voice of Ellie. I love that little foul mouth. Was she foul mouth?
She looks. She was a
She
little.
swore quite a bit, didn't she? I'm
had
trying not
couple
to
of
get her mixed up with someone else.
Yeah,
But she
was a
did. She had a
typical
couple of
teenage girl, like going through stuff, and like the elements of it was just so well done. Like from realizing that she's been bit before, till Joe. I can't remember her name now, but like
she was the antidote, wasn't she?
No. You had it was something in her brain. So there's something in her brain that you have to kill it to get it out to use to change it. But like say even like the first heartbreaking bit is when he loses his daughter. The second bit when he loses his I've forgotten her name now because my brain's not working. The woman
his
who
friend,
he was like, kind of seeing his partner, shall we say, and you lose her quite early in the game, and you don't expect that. Again, everything that it hits you with, it's elements that you don't really realize, or like the bit where Joel's dying and stuff, and that guys and Ellie's out hunting for the rabbit, and then like I said, that element was so well done. And then when Ellie finally gets taken, and you're like a man on a mission, Joel going through that town, like you're with him saying, no fuckers getting away with this. And then then like say that scene where Ellie kills him, not Joel, but the guy who's attacking her, is so brutal, like the cannibals and stuff. And when you talk about a film, or I know they're going to make a TV show, this was probably one of the best zombie, I would say, entertainment I've seen in a long time. The Walking Dead could have learned a lot from that game.
Definitely.
But that was the first time like, in a long time that I watched a character and went, I love these people.
I'm so glad I took this off my list because I didn't think that I could talk about it, and you seem to have done quite a good job. Because I could have I do remember how I felt when I played this. I do remember how hysterical I was at the end of it.
Yeah.
And it's not until you've just run through everything there, it's kind of like hitting back to us, like, oh God, this was really special to us. Like, I'm glad I've taken it off my list so I can add another one in that's not the same as yours. But I do, it's just made us feel all warm and fuzzy just thinking about it in like, and for the nice reasons and remembering the good parts of the played.
Yeah, without going into spoilers, everything I loved about the first one gets taken away in the second one, and that's why I can't go back, because I had such an attachment to that game. Like as I said before, I don't have much time now where I can pick up a game and stand on it for hours and stuff. Like I say, I know, like I say, I love spending time with my wife, which is as corny as it sounds. So I'll play a FIFA for a few hours. I'll play Fortnite. Like I say, I could have added FIFA to the games because I've been obsessed with FIFA ever since the game was released, but it's not really the type of game I would say. I think I've won competitions playing FIFA and stuff, but it's not. It's not something I'm passionate about.
I was going to say, isn't at this point it's just something to take your mind off shit. It's just because it's so the same note. There's not a lot of great thinking in it.
Yeah,
so
and there's not many games where
everything out.
I needed the ending. Like say, there's games I'll play, I'll just play it and enjoy it. I needed to finish this game. I couldn't sit. Like I thought about when I wasn't playing it. That was how like say invested I was. But for a game, that's why I left it at last, because even if you I even had in my mind it because I thought you would pick it. I wasn't going to mention that was my pick because it was always going to be my last pick, and it doesn't matter what we discussed about before. This was going to be how I was going to come to it because
I think when I was doing when I had it in my head of how I was going to lay this out, I was going to put Gears of War at the last point, because in all honesty, that was the pinnacle moment of me starting to change my mental health, was through that game, and how much I lost myself into it. I mean, I've played games in between that, but I'm really bad at gaming, like really bad. I played BioShock, right? It was BioShock 3, and I didn't come prepared at all. I hadn't collected anything. The final boss scene, and had to do it for us, because it was virtually impossible for us to finish.
Right.
I was so bad. This is why I like platformy games. I don't like things that are too overcomplicated, to where I have to know that I have to have this portion or that thing to finish off at the end. I just want to shoot some shit, kill, solve some puzzles, beat some people up. Like, that's my kind of game. And my last pick is very similar, and is probably the first time in this podcast we've ever talked about this franchise.
Sorry. Yeah. See, I can get emotionally invested in films, like anything, like it harps back. But that one, like I say, I've loved gaming, but that one is where it just basically got to us. And I'm not ever going to say I'm a professional gamer, or I'm like,
no, God, no. Couldn't.
I can't do things like, say, I still look for the cheat codes every so often. But yeah, that one, like I say, just blew my mind, 100%, and I will go back to it. But I'll have another conversation with you another day when it comes to The Last of Us 2, shall we say.
Oh, okay.
So that's my last pick there.
Well, my last pick that is now being changed. And I can't believe I didn't even think of this when I was sitting earlier, because I literally played this last year. I played this at the beginning of this year, actually, because I got it for Christmas. It came out in 2019. And it is the first time we have talked about this franchise on this podcast, which shocks me to my core, because it is one of my favorite things in the world. It's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Right, okay.
I only finished this last year, and I wanted this to go on forever and ever and ever. And I am going to say this now, major spoilers while I talk about this. Paul, you have no intention of playing this game, do you?
I've started it, but again, I couldn't get away with it.
I'm not going to say
because it was because with Xbox now you get the Ultimate Pass, you get games you can download and play for free. It's one of the games, and I enjoyed aspects, but I couldn't get away with it. It wasn't for me.
I love it. I absolutely adore this, and I'm so sorry that you're not going to get to the end, because the end is absolutely phenomenal. Like,
I might do one day, but it's again.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it.
No, don't, Alex. I'm not that big a bubble about the spoilers for games.
You sure?
Yeah, go for it.
So you're with Cal Kestis and his adorable, oh my God, what's he called? I want him so badly. Droids are my thing. I have quite a few in my house, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head. BD1. And it's all after the Order 66. And he is I don't know if you would class him as a Jedi, because he was simply just a Padawan when this all kicked off. And
Samuel Jackson wouldn't. He's no Jedi.
No Jedi. And he didn't finish his training properly.
Yeah.
I love this game because you follow Cal's whole life. Like, you get abilities because you have a flashback of his training with his Jedi Master. That's how you advance with your abilities. You have some of the best characters come out of this. Oh my God. I really wish I wrote notes now. I really wish I came prepared and thought of this earlier. But
just go with how you feel. It normally comes out better that way, don't worry.
It does, but names are really a crap with this. It's the what do you call them, man? The Dark Sister? The Ninth Sister. Oh my God. I would have bothered us. She was absolutely fantastic. There's another lady that we meet who ends up going off with them at the end, and she had one of the best sarcastic tones I have ever heard. But the end bit, you do get a special cameo from somebody, and it is like the main, like, if you watch the reactions online, everyone had the same one as I did, because I was getting, holy shit.
So Vader
Literally, Vader shows up.
He shows up on everything, don't worry.
Shows up, but it's the, you don't see it coming. He's never mentioned at all. It's almost like he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And you stand there with one of the women who you've been fighting this whole time, and you can just hear him. You can hear the steps.
Yeah.
Then you hear the breathing, and you're like, what? No. And then you see the red saber go through a fucking stomach, and game over, and you literally have to run out of there, and you're being chased by him, and it's just that was enough. Like, the whole game itself was just absolutely superb. I loved it from start to finish. It's very in my comfort zone when it comes to games. But that end scene was, I remember when I finished it, my jaw hadn't hit, like, I couldn't pick it up. It was so good. So good. Loved it. I'm glad I picked that for my last choice. But I wish I came more prepared. I wish I thought about it earlier. Trilla. That's what she's called, Trilla. That's who you're fighting. Her outfit is fantastic. It's it's black. A saber is amazing as well.
Yeah, I think I remember, like, she was chasing you in the first, like,
she's in it predominantly, like, throughout of it. Yeah.
No, I remember playing it, I think it was early last year, but with everything going on, I just wanted comfort and something that I could rely on, so I probably didn't take it in as much. But you did raise a good element there, a point at the start. We haven't discussed the wars much during these podcasts for a specific reason. When we do, it's going to be a fucking special, because we love Star Wars. We talk about Star Wars when we're not on the podcast, or when we're not. It is one of our, like, say, one of our biggest things. Like,
there's a lot that can fade in and out of me. I'm very much like, at the minute I'm on a proper horror tropes. Like, that's what I do this from time to time. I like put aside, and not that I put aside, but I focus predominantly on horror movies. I'm in it right now, and it's probably just due to the fact that The Conjuring's just come out, and I'm like, I'm feeling it. But Star Wars is like a consistent in my life. I love it, from the bad and the good. There's, for me, like, Phantom Menace, I can still find good elements in that. Clone Wars, I love Clone Wars. Don't care what anyone says.
Like, when it comes to Star Wars and stuff, we'll like, spoilers for future podcasts. We will break it down and go into elements. Like, I want to just do a whole talk just on how the Mandalorian broke me and put me back together, then broke me again. Because there's so much love and so much element.
Yeah, I'm going to put this out now. When we do this, there may be tears, because I have never, and I am a crier. I cry at anything. Bloody hell, I cried at a Tesco advert over Father's Day. That's how bad of a crier I am. I'm a very sensitive person, but I was uncontrollably hysterical at the Mandalorian. I have never cried that bad over anything. I think the only thing that can kind of top it is when Carl had to kill Laurie in Walking Dead. And I was hysterical, like, could not breathe, hysterical. So be prepared. If we do Star Wars,
there will be tears.
There will be tears. I'm not even gonna wear eye makeup for it, because I know well I'll end up messing it up. So my last pick is Star Wars.
Good pick.
It's just if I had a brand, I'm on brand. I've been watching a lot of Schitt's Creek, and brand is literally, tonight is the last 2 episodes. We had a slow burn with Schitt's Creek, and tonight is our last 2 episodes, and I'm dreading it. Absolutely dreading leaving the roses. So
good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed talking about that. Like I said, it brought back some good memories. As I said, we didn't go as old school as I thought we would when we originally mentioned that we were going to do computer games.
I really didn't think we would have a lot the same. I did not think we would ever have the most. Literally, this is the closest we've had.
Yeah. 100%.
In any of the lists we've done. Like I honestly didn't think that's how it was going to be. I thought we were going to be on completely different spectrums, but it literally mirror images each other.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not. It's not. I was like,
we have got a few things in common.
I was saying to Anth, I was like, Gears of War, that'll get him. You'll never in a million years think I'll play that.
That's something to show you as well. I picked something up today that you'll be very jealous of.
Always. Oh, for Spotify and iTunes, it is a Funko Pop of Sloth from the Goonies. For Spotify and iTunes people, Paul's background is very much a Funko shop.
Pretty much, yeah. I could have bought more today, but I stopped myself. But I had to bring Sloth home with us. So yeah.
I'm not a great pop collector, even though I have, like I've said before, I have pre-ordered my Elvira and Vincent Price pops. They're gonna. I'm thinking in my head, they're not coming till September. I'm like, where are they gonna go? Where can I put them? I need them to have them like near us. I'm so stupid. So that's it. That's our top 5 video games of the week.
Cool.
Yeah. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you are listening, thumbs up. If you are listening on Spotify, if you wouldn't mind giving us a follow, and on iTunes, hitting that 5-star review, or even just review, just give us a review. And if anyone does leave us a lovely review on iTunes, I may actually read it out on one of the podcasts if you do it. We are available on Facebook at Facebook Community.
Nerdy Up North community, not Facebook community.
Your brain just went into like a little malfunction there. I think there was a glitch in the matrix. I totally didn't know what I was talking about for a second. And we are available on Instagram of Nerdy Up North.
Which we're nearly close to 2,000 members now. We're 4 people off, so please follow us.
Some good crack, some good conversations happening on Facebook. It is absolutely fantastic. Is there anything you want to bring up before we leave today?
No, just like I say, thank you for everyone who's following. Next week we might have a guest on if she's available. Ooh. So we might have one of the Facebook group members on, and trust me, if she does come on,
you'll want to tune in for it,
because she is one of the most interesting and colourful people to meet. So she is.
I'm dying to talk to her. I'm so dying to talk to her. So she better get this together, and we better do this next week because I'm so excited for it. So that's it. That's episode number what? 10?
10, yeah, and
10 in the bag.
And we'll be saving up our conversations for Loki when that finishes, because I am absolutely loving the first episode. But we'll
totally forgot that came out. Have watched it though, and yes, that will be an episode in itself, just like we did with Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that will be when it's all said and done. Remember, we don't all watch it on a Wednesday, Facebook people, so do not be posting spoilers. I watch it on a Friday because
the group's been very good with that though, because there wasn't any spoilers until today, I think. So there was
that's all right. That's good timing. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But yeah, don't do it on a Wednesday or Thursday until I've seen it on Friday. Then I don't care.
But anyway, yeah, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, Sam.
And you too.
For any listeners, same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everybody. Bye.